So a couple episodes ago we needed a bunch of wood, and I didn't want to go harvesting a bunch of wood, taking days getting it all, so I built this. Now, while I built this, I kind of realised I don't actually have anywhere to put any of my farms. So today we're going to fix that and make a giant tree farming area in our base. Now I'm not entirely sure where I want to put this, but I'm leaning towards down there. Now my reason for putting it down there is because right here in the middle is going to be our massive base that I am still not completely decided on, and over there is another thing for in the future, so you're gonna have to stick around for that. So I've been going around trying to find where this zombie is for like the past 5 minutes. I looked all around down there, everything. There's just a skeleton on the wall. Guess where this guy is. He's managed to spawn in a 1x1 gap in the stump of my tree. Oh, I'd hate to be you. Anyway, the other night I was brainstorming ideas for this mega tree farm type thing we're gonna build, and I couldn't get this one idea out of my head. Now, I don't know if this is a bit too ambitious for someone who's never built a single organic build in the entirety of Minecraft, but I was thinking, would it not be insanely cool if I had like a massive statue just holding a bunch of trees, and inside all of those trees was like the actual farms for the trees themselves, and it just funnels through the arms into the chest of the thing, and that's where the storage system is. Now I tried so hard to come up with a different idea other than that, but it just seems so cool that I have to do it. So wish me luck. You're probably going to see how it turns out in the thumbnail, but right now I have no idea how it's going to turn out. It could just not be a thing at all, and this is just all scrapped. Now, because the backdrop of the statue is just going to be pure stone, we're going to have to actually put some effort into the texture of this thing so it doesn't just fade into the background. And for that, we're going to be using a block I still have yet to use even once, and that's tuff. Now, it's not going to be completely made out of tuff, but I think it would make a pretty good block for shading, which we're really going to need. So once again it seems as if I'm going to have to use the cavalry's base, because he has all the farms, and I've slowly started to realise I haven't built a single farm in the past 2 years of this world. Aside from the tree farm, I can't actually think of anything else I've built. I've always just bought items and whatnot from other people, so I'm gonna have to work on that a little bit in the next series. Anyway, we're here for this because we need to smelt all our stone. We need to craft all our stone into bricks and then smelt all of those bricks into cracked bricks. And with that done, we can get started on a massive statue type thing. I'm not sure how much I'm looking forward to this. This is completely new territory for me. Now I'm pretty happy with how everything's going so far, particularly the shape of the torso so far. And I've tried to add some sort of like textured shadow there where the abdominal muscles are supposed to be, but it's not going very good. So I might come in later on and try my best to redo all that, but I'm kind of lazy, so if it looks good anyway, I'm just gonna leave it. So now we've just got to work on the upper body portion, get some shoulders in there, get some chesticles, and it'll start looking like an actual human being. And with that, our torso is done. Now, I'm not too sure what my plans for the arms are just yet, and I'm kinda dreading building them because it's not as simple as just building up some sort of cylindrical structure. It actually has to, you know, do proper arm stuff, which I've never done before. So I think my plans for the arms are to have 3 on each side. That gives me enough room for like a bunch of different types of trees to actually, you know, signify that it's some sort of tree type farm type thing. So I'm thinking one arm sort of like that, I guess. The second arm is just going to go pretty straight, and then the third arm is going to come down like that. This makes no sense, but it makes sense in my head. So I'm going to get going on one side, and then I can just copy that over to the other side because I'm lazy. Look at that. It's actually starting to look kind of good now. I'm still running into the problem where it's, even though I've given it shading, it's kind of blending into the background a bit. But I think I can kind of break that up with some vines and whatnot all over the sky. Now I will admit that the hands are kind of messed up on those back arms. If you try and do that pose yourself, you know, hand doesn't quite rotate that far, but I pretty much had no choice because otherwise it would just be going straight into the cliffs on both sides. So kind of a problem there. And also another problem you might have just saw, have yet to work on the back. Yep. It is quite spacious in there though, which is what I want, because we're going to have a whole storage system in there, and we kind of do need a lot of space. Which I'm just realising now, I don't actually have to put any sorters in there, because they all come and, actually I might have to put sorters in there. It depends how many lines I can fit through those arms, and also how many farms do multiple trees. I didn't think that far through. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put sorters in there. But aside from that, this is looking pretty good. So I'm gonna work on finishing up this part, the most dreaded part of any builder's career. I'm actually kind of happy with how this has turned out. Now, the anatomy might be a little wrong, but it isn't quite big enough to have accurate anatomy, okay? So we're just going to ignore that. It's the back of the build anyway, no one's going to see that. But what I'm most happy about is the amount of space in here. Because good God, this might actually work without any planning going in. Now, there's still an elephant in the room to address. Kind of no bottom there. She's kind of floating on the water. But we're going to ignore that for now. As well as the fact that right when I got around here in the time-lapse, I kind of kept forgetting to unpause the time-lapse, and I had to refill my resources. So we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. Oh, that looks so cool. Anyway, we're over here because I'm procrastinating, and I was watching back last episode and I realised I didn't exactly show off inside here too very much, so I thought I'd do that now. Now, the theme for this whole base area we're going for is sort of like a ancient civilization type thing that's just completely died out. So, inside here they were doing some sort of tests on these ancient creatures, pumping gas and whatnot in there, and that is what these tubes are supposed to be. Now, this thing was a complete fluke getting this to work this well. So originally I was trying to place this plant on top of this barrel because I thought it would look somewhat decent, but you can't place it on there. So I was mucking around, I placed it up there by accident, and I realised these drops look so unbelievably good, as if they're like filtering out from this tank of whatever the hell that is. I didn't even colour it green on purpose, it was just complete coincidence. And another bonus of that fact is it does generally make it look like it's pumping some sort of gas in there. And there are a little bit of particles up in here which I couldn't do anything about, but it's just so little that it really does just look like it's pumping gas straight into there, which I really like. Now over here we have some sort of, I don't exactly know what this is supposed to be. I was imagining it's some sort of like electricity thing going into this. It's supposed to be a calibrated sculk sensor, but for reasons I'm not placing it there at this current moment. It's just gonna sit over in this barrel for now. I also just, you know, it's been like, I don't know how many years since the civilization died out, but they're not maintaining their equipment clearly. And then this little plant growing area, which has obviously started to deteriorate over time. Now, if anyone watched the end of last video, you'd already know what this area would look like, but I'm just going to show it off just in case, because it is pretty cool. Now, I hope those don't escape. They're not going to... It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Anyway, I've used these little glow lichen things just to light up this area a bit, because I didn't want it too bright. I wanted the center to be bright and the outsides to be dark, but you can't really have that because the mobs and stuff will spawn in here, which I didn't want. So I've gone and lit it all up with these little glow lichen things, and it's actually looking really cool. It looks quite good in there with shades, again, if anyone watched the end of last video, which I would show off, but yeah, I'm only getting 60 FPS or recording right now, so not much of a thing I can do. But enough with the procrastinating, it's time to get back to this. Now, the reason I'm procrastinating is because I've never built a head before in this game. So I'm not entirely sure if I want to have like some sort of blank face or actual facial details. So I think I'm just going to build up a head shape first, and we can work on the finer details afterwards. Oh, now see, I kinda like that, but I don't know if it looks a bit too unfinished. Will adding a proper face, because it's not exactly supposed to be a human, even though it's quite humanoid. So I'll build up like a mock version in a testing world and see if I prefer that. But I actually do kind of like just having a blank face there, as if these people have just been worshipping some sort of faceless tree god with 6 arms. So I gave building a head one shot in a testing world, and I do kind of prefer it like that. I don't exactly want this guy to have too much identity. It's just supposed to be some sort of big tree statue, and I feel like if I give him a really detailed face, he'll just end up being just too important. So with that, I think this is the end of this video.